Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and a little bit more Victory at Sea. We got a new goodie in here. Been waiting a while for it, but finally got it in. So, adding a little bit to our Kriegsmarine here, and that is the Graf Zeppelin finally. So, we're excited to see what this thing actually looks like in person, since it, never quite made it into real life. But happy to show you guys here, and we'll take a look. So, let's get this open. Alrighty, guys, got everything opened up here for you, and this is everything that we get. So the pretty much near constant working with Warlord resin kits sheet. We're going to put that to the side. We don't really need to talk about that. Of course, the tab slider sheet that they include in just about every kit, and then the sort of painting guide here, which is pretty neat. Again, kind of focusing on Vallejo, but Army Painter and other stuff as well if you want to go with that. And gives you a nice good look of different parts that are painted up. And then on the other side, the usual assembly guide here, which is really not much for a carrier compared to some of the other carriers that they've already released. And really, one thing I'm loving about this, and I wish they could kind of incorporate it in some of the other ships, is some of the masts or whatever we're going to call these. I'm not sure if that's still the same term for these modern ships, but they found a way to incorporate it with some of the other sections here, so that there's not like half a dozen metal bits that need to be glued down. It's like literally two pieces. So I wish there was a way that like more ships would incorporate that, so just fewer metal things to deal with. But anyway, pretty simple overall there. Then getting onto the ship itself here. Um, so again, the metal bits, not much is needed there because again, it's just the two. So basically, the front or back, actually the back section, I guess, of the deck, and then some of the exhaust and stuff there. So pretty good stuff there. And then the main reason, of course, we'll come to the stat card last, I think. But again, that really the good Warlord resin here, so none of that early stuff anymore, and just super crisp detail on this. Like there's like nothing to clean up as far as I saw on a first glance through. And just from a top-down view here, you can see like just this thing has like a ton of secondary, so it would have been cool to like have like a real life reference photo of it, if it had ever been completed. But nonetheless, cool stuff though. So and then as you can see, they really captured pretty well. We're going to try and get this to focus properly. They've captured really, like, again, that detail on the side here. So let's see if we can trick the camera into focusing the way we want it to. So again, a lot of lifeboats and other ships and stuff, like smaller boats on the bottom there. Secondary still, you can see them poking out all over the place there, and casemates and stuff like that. Coming up to the front here. So again, just super fine detail there. Definitely got to be careful too if you do feel like you need to do some trimming or filing or stuff. So it's very easy to do too much and then erase your detail. So super careful. Less is more in this case, or in most of these cases here with the resin, especially as you can see just how tiny some of these details are. So swinging around to the other side of the ship here. Let's make sure we try and get this into focus. There we go. That's pretty good. And then from the rear end here, again, that's where we're going to put that other deck piece on there. So some of that's going to get partially covered up. And then just strictly, again, top down so we can see what's going on there. So again, we see would have, I guess, had 3 elevators. So here's where we're going to put that main metal bit. And then secondaries there. So, and again, Graf Zeppelin class. So it'll be interesting to see how this actually plays on the tabletop here. So kind of show you guys from the side again. So it was Graf Zeppelin class, first of its name, of House Zeppelin. So 210 points. Again, may have been updated. We haven't referenced the fact for this. This is again just a plain simple unboxing here, so we're not gonna like review the ship or anything. Flank speed 7 seems decent, right? Armor 3 up, decent amount of hull points and everything here. Has a really cool looking profile too here, just in the blacked out version of that. Looks pretty neat. Looks like it's actually almost like a cruiser or something like that, just all the little secondaries and stuff poking out. Traits: carrier radar, torp belt 2 and 10 flights. And again, as you can tell, not just from the model, but then the rules here, so pretty substantial secondary battery. 16 5.9 guns and 12 4.1s. Decent enough range for what it is, but again, that's if you're playing it on the table. So in all cases, pretty much, those should be like a reserve for you. But you can certainly reach out a little bit and touch some things that are probably getting too close for you, like some of the speedier things out there. And decent amount of dice for all that, but again, fairly weak guns overall, right? AP -1, AP -2 there, and damage 1 apiece. Restricted, twin linked, and then for the smaller guns, dual purpose, which is always nice. And weak does start off with local 3. And then the light, the 4.1s, only 3 dice may be fired directly fore or aft, which makes sense, of course, since a lot of it was on the sides. Flipping over, right? Hey, unsurprisingly, the only ship of the class, since it wasn't really completed. But real speed 24 knots, or sorry, 34 knots. So that's pretty neat. Commissioned, right? But with a footnote there in 43. So it's just cool to see the potential history of this here, right? So though laid down and launched before the start of the war, the Graf Zeppelin was never completed or commissioned, and it never saw action. For any of you super history buffs out there, would have been, if anybody knows, like how close would, or how much more work would it have taken to actually complete it? Like if we had to put a percent on it. If anybody knows or has data, definitely drop that in the comments. Love to hear about that. Anyway, so however, the Graf Zeppelin was almost completed in 43. So, right, what is almost? Are we talking 75%, 85%, or more? But Hitler, disappointed with the Kriegsmarine, halted all surface fleet construction. At that point, really, certainly too little, too late. Resources diverted to something that really wasn't going to make a difference. Although they certainly devoted a lot of resources to a lot of stupid projects that, while cool as far as like wargaming purposes, waste of resources and really like virtually no strategic impact on the war. So in that sense, probably good that it wasn't completed for their efforts, but would have been cool to just see something like that in real life had they gone with that, or maybe earlier. But good old silly mustache man interfering there. So that is everything for the good old Graf Zeppelin here. Will be interesting to see, what other sort of hypothetical or nearly completed ships that Warlord decides to release for the game. And, just to sort of help flesh out some of the fleets that, have certain deficiencies there. Does bring in a lot of potential what ifs and allow other scenarios there that would otherwise not be realistic. But it is fun to fight those what if battles and, just recreate some of those potential conflicts there. And just, with all the factions and stuff in the game and, more potentially coming down the road, again, just helps keep the game growing and gives every faction, a little something if they were at least reasonably close to working on or completing something like that. So anyway, for those Kriegsmarine players out there, if you are already playing with the Graf Zeppelin, how is it performing in your games? And what's working well, what's working not? And then for everybody that's playing against Kriegsmarine, let us know if this really is any kind of issue for you in tackling the Graf Zeppelin and its impact, or does it not really affect your games so far? So hit us up in the comments there, guys. I'd be really interested to hear your experiences there, and if anybody has any other interesting historical facts about where where this ship ended up completion wise, how close did it really get in 43, again, drop that in the comments, guys. Love to hear from you there. Also, smash that like and subscribe, helps us continue to grow. If you do want to support the channel as well, check out link in the description. That'll give you, if you head over to Warlord there and pick up anything, that'll help support the channel a little bit. Appreciate everybody who's been doing that. And there's also information there if you do ever want your local store to start carrying Warlord if they don't. So that can help spread the love there as well and the hobby. And other than that, thanks again for hanging out, guys. We'll see you in the next one.